Hey, what's up, Legacy fam? Welcome to our 6 week fall shred. This is going to be a short video, as short as I can make it at least, to go over our entire guidebook for this 6 week challenge. Okay. I got a few minutes at home when the kids aren't here, so it's going to be quiet for a little bit. I have my guide here over to the side, so I'm going to be looking over here while I'm describing the pages, but I'm excited to have you guys on board. It's going to be a great 6 weeks. Like I said, these 6 week challenges are always super, super helpful. You can most people either knock it out of the park where some people can lose 10 to 12 pounds in the 6 weeks, or you're going to learn something and you're going to learn either what you need to do better or how you could eat better or some strategy you need to change or maybe some mental blocks that you need to change. But we're going to cover all of that in this video. I just want you guys to go in full force, take it seriously, do your best to eat right as much as you can on this challenge and keep yourself motivated. I'm super excited to do this for you guys. I take these very seriously as well, and I want to help you every single step of the way. So please get back to me with questions. With that said, let's get moving. So, first page, a strong environment creates strong individuals. Surround yourself with people and places that lift you higher. And you guys are here at Legacy Strength with us, and we are the people that are going to lift you up. And you are in this group with a bunch of Legacy veterans, and some of you are newer to the gym. And we're all going to work together to motivate each other, to lift each other up so we can go higher further. So, what to do first? Make sure you read and review everything. The dieting plan is flexible, so you can follow it as is or modify as needed. So, you do have a 3 phase approach. I'll go more into that a little bit later. But I do 100% believe in a flexible approach that works best. I give you the outline, I give you the calorie goal, I give you the protein goal, but you can plug in whatever foods you like that fit your lifestyle. Okay. The parameters do have to be the same. So if it's a certain amount of protein, you need to hit that amount of protein. That is the most important. A lot of times, mostly with women, it's hard to eat a certain amount of protein, but we like you to start at least somewhere in the range that is recommended for you. Okay. So there are a lot of different sources for you provided at the end, and different swaps that you can make through the challenge. Step 2, get yourself ready. So ask any questions to clear up any confusion or uncertainty. Make sure you go grocery shopping this weekend or order your meal prep as soon as possible. The meal prep companies are in the back of the guide here. We use Eat Better Meals is a good one that we use. You use the code Legacy Eats to get the discount. Hummus Fit is another one that's really popular in Long Island, that they're delicious. And Fitrition is local to Floral Park, and they're easy to get prepared meals from. Make sure you prepare the meals for your coming week. So look at your menu, clean out the fridge, get everything ready. Put your workouts in your calendar, and make sure you get your mind pumped and get focused on your goals. Okay. So get yourself ready. Next up, the nutrition plan overview here. So we're going to go over this in detail for you guys. So first of all, always ask if you're uncertain of anything, or if you don't know what to get or do. Don't assume anything. Don't Google it. Don't ask your best friend. Just make sure you ask me any questions that you might have. Uh, Make sure you cook all proteins in and all foods in general. And I'm guilty of this. I love cooking with some added oils, so I know that sometimes where a couple of hundred extra calories can creep in. So just be careful when you're using your oils, creams or butter, etc. Make sure you're using the fat-free cooking spray. If you can come across it, there's a brand called Smart Balance that has a low-calorie spray. Now, mind you, the low-calorie spray says that because it's considered no calorie if it's under 5 calories. So I think the spray bottle is like a third of a second, is like considered like no calories, but it's really like 2 or 3 calories. In other words, long story short, don't go crazy with the sprays. Okay, those calories do add up. Um, so you're gonna look at air frying, steaming, boiling, grilling, baking, things like that. Try to look up recipes that have those types of cooking methods. Adding extra oils always adds unnecessary calories, so just try to put that under control, especially if you're the type that likes to cook with a little more oil based. Cheat meals per recommendation of the plan. Cheat meals are great, but they can also block your progress. Okay. Everybody always says, oh, I deserve this. I deserve this. And for these next 6 weeks, you don't until it's time. I want you to learn how to get through a weekend without blowing your calories. Okay. So you will be allowed a cheat meal every 2 weeks. And I expect you to enjoy that cheat meal. And most importantly, I don't want you to feel deprived. I want you to feel like you're going through the 2 weeks without, um, without feeling deprived, that you're feeding yourself, that you're not hungry. I want you to feel satisfied, and I want you to learn how to get through the weekend without feeling like, oh, I have to binge on this or I have to eat that. You don't really have to. If you have an event coming up or something, that's one thing, and there's ways around it. And then there's one thing between going to an event and staying on track and totally going off course. Okay, so we can talk about that if any of you have anything coming up. Um, and if eating a cheat meal makes you spiral and binge at any time, preferably just cut it out and just really just try to look at this in the bigger picture and try to eat on a steady basis most of the time. And like I'm talking about like 90% of the time, you should be in a steady regimen of these healthier, higher protein, higher fiber meals regularly, and you should not need that cheat meal. Wake up and hydrate. I wrote that on pretty much every page. Try to get that 16 to 24 ounces as soon as you get up, because while you sleep, you lose water. So just make sure you get it in as soon as possible. The next one is about coffee. Just let me see if I can. So let me move this around here. Yeah, so the next one is about coffee, and this is you can definitely drink your coffee as long as it's more coffee than milk, and just making sure that you're not overdoing it. Hold on, I'm just setting up another. Here we go. All right, now we're back. Yeah, so coffee, make sure you drink up. Make sure you're not adding too many additional creams, sweeteners, or sugars. It's all good, but just make sure you enjoy it. I know a lot of you can't live without your coffee. Tea is great as well. Any caffeine 30 to 60 minutes before the workout is excellent, and stick to green tea if you can. Green tea definitely helps a lot with fat loss and with any challenge, especially with challenges like this. Green tea does help a lot. So just find a good brand that you like, and just make sure you use it. So for condiments, next you have lemon, salt, hot sauce, salt-free condiments like Mrs. Dash, mustard, herbs, and vinegars like red wine vinegar or balsamic, and not the vinaigrettes. These are all good to put on everything. Try to stick more to this list when you're seasoning your foods. So no fatty dressings. If you want to go with a low-fat dressing, you can. Just make sure the calories are probably in that 30 to 50 range per serving of the salad dressing. Now, any questions on that starting, you guys let me know. Okay. Next up, we're going to talk about the first 2 weeks. I'm so excited about this. This is the first 2 week phase of the programs. It's called the cleanup. And in here, we're going to hit the ground running. Make sure you have some good, healthy choices. We're going to start cutting the calories a little bit. And while your motivation and your energy levels are up, it is important to measure the food as recommended on the plan. So try not to overdo it. Okay. Remember, no cheat meal week 1. You get the cheat meal at the end of week 2. Um, Optional but highly recommended is a calorie burn target I have for you guys, which is to get 200 calories through a walk, run, swim, etc. At least one time by the end of every week. So the more 200 calorie quote unquote workouts you have, the better. The way you're going to look at the calorie burn. I have a nice chart I will send to you, but at least 4 to 5,000 steps extra each day will put you in that 200 calorie mark. If you want to use your smartwatch and just kind of just hit the bike until you hit 200 calories, that's fine. Just make sure you're doing something a little challenging that gets your heart rate up for about 30 minutes during the week, at least once, preferably up to 3 times. Okay, this is extra on top of what you're already doing. Next up, you're going to wake up and hydrate. Okay, so make sure you drink up your 16 to 24 ounces of water. You have a bunch of different options here for your meal. So if you look at the meal plan, this is a carb cycle, meaning that you have some lower carb days and some higher carb days. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Follow the plan. It will all make sense. To put it simply, what a carb cycle is that some days you will have medium or higher amounts of the starchier carbs. This includes things like fruit, oatmeal, toast, and things like that. On the lower days, you will have less amounts of the starchy carbs. Okay, the lower we keep the low days, the better, and the more controlled that we keep the other days of the moderate and the high days, the better for you. All right. So as you can see, when you look at the top of the sorry, looking over here. So it is on this page. So when you're looking at the top of the screen here, you're going to see day one low, low, moderate, low, low, high, moderate. Just make sure that you are, just make sure just to know what kind of day you're going to have. Now, again, I told you earlier, you can swap these days. So make sure if you feel like the high carb day you need on another day for whatever reason, you can definitely change it up. Each day gives you two options. So if you have two options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on each day. Okay, so you have one, two, three, four meals that you can choose from. So just make sure you pick something that you like. Each one is super easy. You have a bunch of different choices. You could pick, like for example, 2 to 4 egg whites and one whole egg, 1 to 2 slices of toast, and 1 ounce of avocado. You can do a scoop of whey and some nut butter and a fruit. One of those two is fine. And then most of the lunches or dinners, which is our meals 3 or 4, will have 3 to 6 ounces of protein or a salad bowl. And there's a couple of other cool little recipes in there. I will also make sure you guys have your hands on our recipe guide so that can help you with some more ideas. Just make sure you're staying in these numbers the best that you can. So you need your food scale. So first 2 weeks are the cleanup. All right, so these are the 2 weeks that we're going to take to reduce the calories, clean everything up, pick up the protein, and that's how you're going to get started. The second 2 weeks, these two are the ramp up. So in these 2 weeks, what we're looking for is we're going to continue eating similar food sources, but we're going to add in another day of lower calories and carbs. Okay, it is important to measure the food as recommended on this plan. Um, After no cheat meal until week 4, okay, we increase the calorie burn target by to 250 calories, so you make sure you get that in during the week. Okay, on this week, you're just going to see that we just have one more lower carb day. You should still be feeling pretty good. If your fiber intake is good, you're going to not be super hungry. If you are hungry, make sure you go back and say, you know what, maybe I did not have enough protein, or did not have enough fiber. Something like that is the reason why you are going to be hungry. Okay, so just make sure you follow this. Again, it's going to be a few low days. You have a moderate day on day 4 here of the ramp up. And then you have another moderate day on day 7. Okay, again, you have a couple of options for each meal. The next one is called the final cut. Okay. Now this one is where it's going to get a little bit more challenging for you, because we're going to cut the calories a little bit more. We want to get rid of any excess water. This is our final dig. So we're going to try to slam dunk this finish on the last 2 weeks. Okay. Again, very important to measure your food, and no cheat meal until the end of the challenge. Okay. When you look at the days on the final cut, you're going to notice that most of the days are low, and you have day 4 and 6 as moderate days. Again, if you feel like you need the extra carbs, you can move those days around as you need to. But if everything's humming along, you should be just fine. Make sure you follow this to the best of your ability. Okay. Um, yeah, we pick up the protein a little bit, we pick up the fiber a little bit, change out some of the food options. Very, very solid plan for the last 2 weeks. You might find that you're a little hungry in between at this point. You're just going to work on managing your hunger. And most importantly, when it comes to managing your hunger, you have to make sure that you have your next meals planned. Okay, so just make sure you know what's coming up, so that way when you get hungry, you're going to say, you know what, I have this lean fruit next, or I have I got this salmon, broccoli, and bean salad next. So anything that you're going to look forward to eating next makes it really easy. It also helps you build the confidence. Okay. Next page here. This is your flexible nutrition blueprint. Fuel, adapt, and succeed. You can print out this template. So the way I wrote this template for you guys, you have the day. So Monday, you could print out like 6 of these sheets. Would be great. You'll write the day's goal that you have, and then you can write out each meal that you are planning for that day. Please be proactive with planning your meal. So I want you to, so on Sunday night, you should be writing out what you're going to eat for Monday. And Monday night, you should be writing out what you're going to eat for Tuesday. The more proactive you are, the more success you're going to have. I just read a great book about body fat loss, and he said, there was a study done that showed the more proactive you are, the more fat you lose with your logging. And the more reactive you are, meaning that you wait till the end of the day and then you put in your food, the less of a chance you have. So just try to make sure you're on and on top of it and planning your food in advance. That is a huge, huge help. The next page here, I got calorie targets for you. So I know you guys will be sending me your nutrition assessments. If you did it already in the past, just redo it again. Let me get a fresh one so I can see a snapshot of what your diet is like right now. And that'll give me a good start giving you more accurate calories. But this chart here gives you really good guidelines of where to start. So so for example, women under 120 pounds, you have 100 to 120 grams per day, and we have the fat, carbs, fiber, and the calorie target. Okay, and we have the weights all the way up for women and men, and these are really is a really good chart and just a really good ballpark for you guys to start. Tracking calories. Now, when it comes to tracking calories, I highly recommend that you guys use the Chronometer app. I tell everybody about this. It's the best app on the market. It has the best features. It's got the best database of foods, and it gives you the most information of what foods you have of what foods you're eating. So it just gives you the best, like all like the micronutrients, what vitamins are in it, the minerals, the amount of fiber, and it's just the most accurate app out of all of them. So download Chronometer and start playing with it. Now, if you're not that techie and you want to write out your food, you can certainly do that. You can always use make a spreadsheet at home if you're that type of person, or you can write it out. You can, and nowadays there's so many apps that you can use, and you can just ask, even in going into Google and saying, how many calories in 6 ounces of chicken breast, and it'll give you a more accurate amount. Okay, and that's just another way to do it also. Next page here, don't want what's on the menu and you need some variety, just make sure you follow the examples below. So you can always change a protein for a protein. So just make sure you're swapping. If you don't want eggs and you want something else, make sure you switch it for another protein source, like a protein shake. And if you don't want chicken for dinner and you want fish, you could just switch it out. Carbohydrate, switch a carb for a carb. So switch rice for oatmeal or apple for banana, not an apple for a steak. All right. So just make sure you're doing a carb for a carb. Switching your fats, making sure your almonds for cashews. And then for your vegetables, just swap a vegetable for a vegetable. Make sure you're keeping those swaps in order so that way the macronutrients of your meals don't go out of whack.